Welcome to letter art using either Photopea or Photoshop. And you can see right here, we've got a face made up entirely of letters, and you can make animals, you can make objects, whatever you want. And so I'm going to be using Photopea. I'm going to click on new project, and we're going to get this thing rolling. When you click up here, you can see social, print, photo. I'm going to stick with social. I'm going to hit this Instagram one. It's square. I like the shape of that. And because we're using letters, it's not going to matter too much the size. It's more about the shape of the page. So here we go. We're going to click on the T for text. We're going to use two tools, text being the first. When I click, you can see it puts down a little box, and it's tiny. It's minuscule right now. That's okay. Here's our text layer, just in case you need to look at that later. And so what we'll do is we'll type in, I'm just going to go with the T to begin with. And so it's small on the page. What do we need to do? We need to make this a whole lot bigger. So what we'll do is head up to the top bar that modifies these things. So when we're in the text tool, we can see this one here. So it says size, so the type size. I'm going to type in something big, 600. We started at a low number below 100. Now we're just jumping to 600, and you can see that it's quite a bit bigger. It's also red. Right now it is selected, but now when we click away, it's red. So that's great. That's another thing we can change as we go forward. The other tool we're going to use is right here, the move tool. So we can select things, we can move them around, and when we click on them, you can see up in the top bar it says auto select, it says transformation controls. We want to click that on. And when that happens, we can see the bounding box, this bounding box. This shows us where the text is exactly, and we can drag it and transform. We can scale, we can squish, we can squash, we can make things bigger. And if you click here on this little chain link, then it will keep the aspect ratio the same. So now that I've clicked that, you can see I can't squish it or squash it anymore. It's just scaling. So I actually want to turn that off, because in this case, we're going to turn letters into images. We want to be able to have this thing really elastic and fit the mold that we want. So I'm going to leave that off. Now let's think about this. I'm seeing like a bit of a face here, like a jaw and the face there. We've got eyes where the cross is for the T. And I want to build everything off of this. Sometimes it works to plan things out. Sometimes it just pays to look and try things. So let's get the next thing going. I'm thinking about eyes. I'm going to click on the text tool. I'm going to type another letter. You're going to notice that it's the same size and the color is the last one, so it'll stay consistent. And I'm thinking this for the eyes because I'm thinking the top is the eyebrow, the bottom is the eye. It's kind of abstract the way this is going to be, but it might be a good fit. So let's think about this. I don't want it red because it's going to sit on top of the T. So I'm going to change the color. And so what I do is I click up here, and I want to make sure that I'm in the text tool when I do this so that it's changing the text. And now I'm going to change the shape and the placement of this thing. So the composition is so key. So I can rotate, I can flip this thing. It's very elastic. So I'm thinking that I actually want to flip it because I want this side on the other. And so I'm going to grab the side and just swing it over this way. And now I think the eye and the eyebrow look a little bit more natural. And I'm going to scale it down, and I'm going to place it on the red T. So do I want it up? Do I want it down? Do I want it right on that red crossbar? Kind of looks cool. And what I want to do is I want to get rid of these bounding boxes because I want to see what it looks like without them. So I'm just clicking this on and off to check. And the other thing I'm noticing is that the contrast in the color is not enough. The gray is not good. So I'm going to make it all black. Now you can really see the A, the I on top of that T, and I like it. So now that I have it in the right spot, everything's ready to go. I need two eyes. So I'm going to go to copy and paste. So Control C and Control V. That's the quick way. You can also use the edit button if you'd rather, but I can do that. You can see it appear over here on the layers panel, and now it's a separate thing. So I can just drag it using the select tool, and I can slide this thing over and place it where I feel like the eye should go. Again, this is an abstracted kind of cartoonish human, and so just you can be loose with it, and we'll find it along the way, but that looks okay for now. So now I want to add some more facial features, and I like the size of this, so I'm just going to copy and paste it again. Instead of starting something new, I'm just going to copy and paste. That's sometimes just the faster way to work. So I'm going to select, and I'm thinking about the lips and the hair, and I think I want to start with the hair. So I'm thinking about hair, how it starts. I've got a J here, and I'm thinking the J would be kind of cool for longer hair. So if I take this and I make it longer, I like the color black. I think I'm going to keep it black. And I'm going to just stretch this out, make it look like hair, and basically complete the second half of the face, I guess, 3/4 almost of the face. So now it's like really completing it. It's going from like bangs just above the eyebrows down to the jaw line, the jaw level. So this looks pretty good right off the bat, actually. There's not much adjusting that I want. So I'm going to copy and paste this, and I have an idea. What if I bring this down so that the hair is kind of swooping towards the chin coming out? It's like curling forward. That kind of looks cool. So just by copying and pasting and then sliding that down, now I'm just going to nudge this up. I'm actually going to use the arrow keys instead of my mouse because it's easier to do. So that's another tool in your toolbox is the arrow keys. You can nudge it. I'm thinking maybe what if I had a second bit of hair? What if a second chunk kind of curling forward? It's going to make it a little more realistic maybe, or just kind of has a pattern almost where it's repeated, and that looks cool. I do like the look of that. There's more adjustments. Obviously, you can always do more adjustments where I could make that smaller. It's still repeating, still got that same great shape, but then it's just a bit smaller, and I like that. I think that's dynamic. It's moving. It's not stacked one on top of the other perfectly. There's a bit of a diagonal happening. So that looks cool. I'm just going to make sure everything matches up. And another thing I could do is use this for the mouth. What if I use this for the mouth now that I'm looking at it? But I'm not totally sure. I'm not sold. That's a weird... that could work. That's an interesting smile for sure. But I think I can do... I want to use some other letters. So let's try this. I'm going to change this from a J. And let's do an M. The top lip of somebody, most people have this kind of double bump where your palate comes down from the bottom of your nose to in between, like right in the middle of your lips. But now I'm thinking, let's try a D too. When you do, when you're typing a little smiley face and you're just using text, you got that smile. That kind of looks funny. I do like the look of this. Part of me wants to make it a little more complicated, but I do, that is pretty funny. Now it's changed their facial expression to pretty joyful. However, I'm thinking I want to build it. I want to build it out a little bit more. So we could do an O. Then now we got a surprise. We got shock and awe. So that's kind of something. But I think I'm going to use this as the bottom lip. So just the bottom lip. And then, like I said, build it up. So I'm going to copy and paste another one. I'm going to select this. I'm going to change this to an M or a W. An M does not work. It's got a little end on it. So let's go with W. And now I'm just going to flip it. Instead of using the W, I'm going to use an M. And I'm going to flip it upside down. And I'm going to make sure that it fits on the O. Because right now it looks like a mustache. M for mustache. That's not what I want. I'm thinking this is a pretty feminine face. I'd like to keep it as the lip. And then I'm seeing the top lip there. I do like this. And I'm just going to check to see how it looks. That's pretty good. I do like that. Now they just look serious or neutral. Neutral facial expression on that one. So different letters are going to give you different facial expressions. One last thing. I think I want to copy and paste. And I want to make a cheekbone. I think a cheekbone would be kind of cool. So I accidentally copied and pasted the big J. But that's okay. Whatever. Put the bounding box back on here. And I will make this. And I'm thinking instead of a letter, I want to use a bracket. I think that would be the best. I could try like a C. I could try a G, but I think a bracket would look the best. So I'm typing that. Now I'm going to make sure it fits. Again, I copied and pasted the biggest thing on the page, which is kind of weird, but that's okay. I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to slide it into place. And that looks cool. I do like the look of that. And then what if I did it on the other side? Would that look okay? That looks okay as well. However, it's looking a little skeletal. So I'm thinking maybe I will get rid of the second one. I like the first one So I'm going to hit Control Z, and that gets rid of it. And so I'm feeling like this is finished. You could obviously do more. There's so many more things you could do, but this is going to get you a 3 for sure. So let's go to File and let's export this thing. Let's get this ready for submission. So you can go PNG or JPEG. Either one will be good. And so the quality is all the way up. Let's save that. Going to make sure that yes. And then we're going to double check. Make sure that before you submit that you double check it. You can either open it on your desktop or using your web browser. There it is. There's the finished project. That looks good. And this is where we part. So good luck on your project, and please let me know if you have any questions.